Happy day, folks. Well, today is going to be my last day on the trail. Our Appalachian Trail adventure for 2016 is going to come to an end today. I am about 5 miles from mile marker 635 on the trail. And I have made a decision to get off the trail at that point. My parents are going to be meeting me there, and I'm going to head back home and start working on the next adventure for Sparkles and I. But as you know, we started this adventure back on March 14th, and we had planned it as a hike that my wife Diana and I would do together, and we would celebrate our 32nd year of marriage by doing some great, crazy event like walking the Appalachian Trail. And so that's what we did. We took off, and we've had just a grand time. As you know, Diana, trail named Sparkles, made it 400 miles before her feet just finally gave out on her. And then I went on a little over 200 more. And it's been a grand time. Absolutely incredible memories. But what you don't know about Sparkles is that we knew from day one that her feet were going to be a liability. And we knew that because a couple of years ago, she was having so much trouble with her feet, she went to a foot specialist. She had these nodules or lumps on the bands of her feet, on the bottom of her feet. She had a couple of them on each foot, and they were about the size of a grape, and they were giving her a lot of trouble. And the foot doctor said that within a year, 2 at the most, she would have to have surgery on the bottom of her feet to remove those lumps on the band, those nodules. Well, that was something she wasn't going to have as far as surgery on her feet. And so she found another doctor who prescribed some natural supplements that could work to reduce the size of the nodules, and it actually worked. She's been on them for a couple years, and it got the nodules down to about the size of peas, to where she could manage the pain in her feet. But from time to time, it would flare up and they'd get big again, but then they'd go back down small again as long as she stayed on the supplements. But we started the trail knowing that there was going to be a liability here, and sure enough, not far in, those nodules began to increase in size, and they got very large again, and they started giving her problems and pain before the blisters and before the stress fracture even came into play. We tried everything we could to manage the blisters and did a pretty good job with that, but the pain in her top of her foot especially, along with the pain in the bottom of her feet from the nodules, just kept increasing. We went to the doctors on the trail the one time, and they took x-rays, and the doctor said did not see any stress fractures, but they typically can take a couple weeks to show up, and gave us some medication to try to get the inflammation down. Said take some days of rest, and that's what we did. And she took some days of rest at my parents' house. We took several days besides that, trying to rest her feet to get them to heal again. And every time she put the pack back on and went back on the trail, everything came back. And we were told by a second doctor that we talked to, that along with the first doctor, that if it kept getting worse, there was probably stress fractures in her feet, and that it would take weeks, if not a couple months, for them to heal. And so that's when she ended her hike. And she was a real trooper trying to push through, even though we knew there was going to be some challenges there. But she got off the trail at mile 400, and I decided to keep going. And I've had a great time for 200 miles and enjoyed proving to myself that I could do this alone. And I feel great, and fortunately my feet have been in great shape, no blisters, and just no problems anywhere physically. And I've lost some weight, but good weight, and I feel strong, and I've put in some long miles. And but this was not the plan. And it's been rather hollow, I could say. Many times reaching a milestone, reaching a point along the trail, and being there alone to celebrate not what we planned. We planned to do it together. And so things have changed, and we're okay with that. And so I'm going to move on from the trail and this adventure for 2016 and head back home to see Sparkles, Diana, and the kids, and start working on our next adventure. But I just want to say an incredible thank you to all of you out there who have been encouraging us along the way on this crazy idea we had. And we have just received so many kind words, notes of encouragement from people all over, people we know and we don't know. And so thank you for making this time for us on the trail this spring something very special and very memorable. And so 5 miles more on the trail, and 2016 anyway, adventure on the AT is going to be over. And so just want to encourage you to keep living your dream, and happy day.